Computer-generated chess problem 2770 by Chestatica. So let's assess the material balance first. White has a queen, a pair of rooks, a pair of bishops, and a knight. Black has a queen, a pair of rooks, a bishop, a knight, and 3 pawns. White's knight on d4 is in a position to be captured, as is the bishop on d8. Black's bishop on g7 is in the same predicament. So what should White do here? Knight captures a rook. Maybe this helps. Seems like a decent move. Well, if White does that, queen to b1 check, king to e2, queen to c2 check, king to f1, queen captures queen. Maybe knight captures pawn with check, king captures bishop. And at this point, Black actually has more material, and also arguably an equal if not superior position. You know, with the white king being kind of locked in the first rank. Okay, so forget about that. Yeah, what about rook captures bishop? Well, the same problem, queen to b1 check. Notice how now the king can't move on to the e file because of the black rook on e6. So king to d2, queen to b2 check. Now if king to d1, queen captures queen as before. But what about knight to c2? Well then rook captures bishop. Maybe the rook on the first rank to g3, c4. And white is in serious trouble because the king is about to plot a discovered check on the king, and this could lead to mate. I mean, for example, if rook to c3, then king to c6 discovered check, the queen can only intervene, rook on the d file captures queen, rook intervenes, rook captures rook with mate. So at this point, white might have to do something like queen to e2, then king to c8 discovered check anyway, king to e1, rook captures queen, bishop captures rook, queen captures knight, rook captures knight, queen to d2 check, king to f1, and with those 3 passed pawns and material superiority, black will likely go on to win this game. Also, if for example queen to h3, pinning the rook, queen to b1 check, king to d2, queen to b4 check, king to d3, loses to queen captures knight, so king to d1, and black can draw by perpetual check. Okay. It looks like this position is more complicated than you thought, isn't it? Let's take a look at the analysis. So as you can see, the engines tend to agree that this game is drawn or lost for white, save for one move. Rook to d3. Okay, so let's say black tries his old trick. Queen to b1 check, hoping to skewer the white king. So the king, again, can't move on to the e file, has to move to d2. And now surprisingly, if queen to b2, knight to c2 not only intervenes but creates a discovered check on the black king. A discovered check that actually leads to mate. For example, king to c6 and queen to c7 mate. And if rook to d6, queen captures rook check, king to c8, and either queen to c7 or even queen to d7 mates. So queen to b2 check is not a good move by black, and black should have seen that. So how about bishop to e5? Attacking the white queen. White can rely on the discovered check, king to c8, giving the queen time to move away. But black might proceed with c4. If black moves back to b2, bishop captures knight. Maybe here bishop to c7, queen captures pawn. If b4, rook to g8 check, king to b7, queen to b5, and black will soon be checkmated. Now at this point, if queen to b4 check, king moves to c1, rook captures bishop, knight captures rook, discovered check, maybe king captures knight. This seems to look better for black, but not really. White doesn't have to capture this rook because this gives an opportunity for black to check and maybe have some counterplay. So white goes straight for rook to e3 check, king to d7, rook captures knight, a rook sacrifice, king captures rook captures bishop check. Now you can see why. King to f6, rook to f7 check, king to e6, queen to e2 check, king to d6, rook to f6 check, king to c7, queen to e5 check, and as you can see, black will lose this soon enough. Let's rewind back to the original position. A lot of complications, but only one key move that gives white a winning chance, and even then, white has to be careful how he plays. Do you think you would have ignored the capturing moves like this, knight captures rook or rook captures bishop, and gone for the quiet move, rook to d3? That was basically the only way to win in this position. If so, you're probably a better player than you think. Until next time.
Chessthetica's Book of Chess Constructs, Volumes 1 through 5. Available on Amazon.